Welcome to the Big Suey, presented by DraftKings,
Why are you listening to this show?
the podcast that seems very similar to the other Dan Le Batard podcast.
I'm sorry, I'm not going to apologize for that.
In fact, the only difference seems to be this imaging.
I have been tempted in restaurants just walking past tables to grab somebody's fries that if they're just there. That hasn't happened to you guys?
I've done it.
And now, here's the marching man to nowhere, Fat Face, and the habitual liar.
This episode of the Dan Le Batard Show with Stu Gatz is presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Thank you. I'm very excited here. Katie Nolan is going to be on Sirius XM, according to Jimmy Traina, announcing that Katie Nolan will host the 1 to 2 p.m. slot on Mad Dog Radio. So they're putting together an old-style radio lineup at Sirius XM with Adam Shine, 9 to noon, Katie Nolan, noon to 1, Stephen A. Smith, 1 to 3, and Chris Mad Dog Russo, 3 to 6.
Okay.
Is that Howard Stern's budget opening up? What is this?
We'll talk about Howard Stern in a little bit. I also want to ask you guys how to handle what's going on with the President of the United States, the White House, and an announcement being made later today that might be made during
First
the
question
show.
for Russini.
But that's not where we're going to start with Dianna Russini, who is here with us now. Dianna is the senior NFL insider for The
better know.
Athletic. And she is the host of Scoop City, the Scoop City podcast. Last time she was here, she had to rush out of the room because Adam Thielen had been traded. I thought it was a gross overreaction and that her life as a parent and adult lacks perspective. But that's what she does for a living, and she's very good at it. The kids are off to school. How do we feel about, is there relief? What's happening now with the age of the kids? Does your life get any easier now?
Yeah.
Well, I don't think it would, to go from dropping the kids off at school to now going into full face into the football season seems like your life's going to get crazy again, just a different way.
No, I would say it's better now. I enjoy today. I'm not one of those moms that is crying, as they, take them out of the car seat to put them into the classroom. It was more of a joyful morning. My husband kissed me this morning, actually, and I know it had nothing to do with romance or love between us. It was just pure joy that they're off to school and we don't have to deal with them, because it is so hard to, have them around all the time. They're little guys. They're 4 and 2. And they like to bite and play dinosaurs with each other, meaning like they actually like to be the dinosaur. So I'm glad that it's somebody else's problem today, because now I can truly lock in and do all this. But it was good. So if you guys remember, I came on the first day of school last year, and I think during the show, we realized that I put Joey's shoes on wrong, like the wrong, the left on the right and the right on the left. But I did not do that today. So big win. We're starting off on top. So it's all downhill from here.
Is Joey the one who microwaved the iPhone?
Yes. Joey is the one who microwaved the iPhone. This morning, when you fill out those chalkboards and the kids hold it up like, hi, my name's Joey. I'm 2. I like this. I said, Joey, what do you like? He said, I like eggs. And the thing is, he doesn't like eggs to eat. For some reason, I don't know, it started about a month and a half ago, my son just goes up to the refrigerator and asks to hold an egg, and he walks around with an egg. He doesn't drop it, he doesn't throw it, he just wants to hold an egg. So you guys can figure out what that means and what poor parenting skill or thing I'm doing in my house, and my son needs an egg to feel loved.
A comfort egg? What is he doing there? What, have you asked anybody about this?
So my brother said he's hungry. He's like, he's asking you to make him an egg. What is so hard to figure out? I said, he doesn't want to eat the egg. He just wants to hold it. And it's with him. So if you come to my house right now, there are just random raw eggs in my house because I'll forget, he'll put it somewhere and I'll forget and I can't find
Easter.
it. Yeah, it is like Easter in my house, except they're not dyed and they're not cooked. It's very bizarre.
But wait a minute. Does this make sense to anyone else? And should this go unchecked? Do we have to do we have to get some help or you're going to have a house full of eggs?
I mean, it's going to get gross at some point here, right? Because eggs can't be out of the refrigerator. Like, how long? If you could put this up, please, and let the world.
There's going to be a smell, isn't there? Because if you don't find all the eggs.
How long can an egg stay raw, I guess, outside of the refrigerator? Like, how long can it last?
You're going to be the house that smells like rotten eggs.
That's
Oh my
right.
God.
That's what's
I
going to
never thought
happen.
of
I'm seeing eggs should not be left unrefrigerated for more than 2 hours.
Yeah, you're going to have a stink house. That's what's going to happen.
To prevent
2
dangerous
hours? Try 2 weeks.
to prevent dangerous bacterial growth.
Yeah, you gotta, Diana, look, you got to get a hold of things. Football's crazy and the season's about to start.
Salmonella.
And those kids are walking petri dishes for disease. And they're going to join a bunch of other kids who are petri dishes for disease.
Right.
And you sent them out of the house, and your husband kissed you because you were so happy to get them the hell out of the house.
We were so happy. And look, they can put the eggs wherever they want as long as they are healthy enough to go to school. They're going to school. Because the phone call I get, and guys on the show that have the little ones know, you get that call from school. I want to red button it. Like, I want to ignore it sometimes because I'm like, I know what this is. Joey has a boo-boo, or Mikey fell and has a scratch on his cheek, and you have to come get him. And it's like, I get him, and then as soon as Mikey gets in the car, he's like, hey, Mom, can we go for a lollipop? I'm like, you're fine. But now you're going to make my life crazy. But it's all part of it. So I actually enjoy it because last week they were home. And I'm sure you guys were paying attention to the news in the NFL. It was absolutely absurd. From obviously it started with the Adam Thielen thing, which is now laughable compared to what the trade turned out to be, the trade of the summer, if not the year, depending on how we see how this shakes out. With, of course, Micah Parsons going to Green Bay. So it has not stopped. It's been a relentless week.
I want to ask you, what was the most interesting thing to be said or shared on Micah Parsons? Everyone's got an opinion. What's the best one you heard?
I enjoy how it was a little bit of a, no pun intended, a little bit of an egg in my face. How many head coaches and general managers on Thursday afternoon I either spoke to over the phone or over text who told me Micah Parsons was not getting traded. It was not happening. And these were teams who even spoke to the Cowboys about potential trade. They knew the team was open to it, but nobody believed that it would actually happen. So I've actually enjoyed a little bit of the post-trade fodder more than the lead up, just because so many people are questioning the timing of it. A lot of people believe that he could have received, he meaning Jerry, the Cowboys could have received so much better compensation either closer to the trade deadline, or if they just did this earlier in the season, what they could have.
Yeah, but Diana, everyone's shocked and everyone has a lot of questions. But what's the best analysis you've heard? Because all the analysis seems to gloss over what I just read. Which is Micah Parsons needs a shot to his spine to make sure that his back's okay now. Do we know that he's healthy? And you didn't, I'd like to know in the opinion business, who's giving the opinion on this that you're like, that's a really astute point that's being made.
Like who did I speak with? You're saying in football that was giving me a thoughtful reaction to this, or
I'm trying to understand. Nobody understands this trade. Everything you said is so, and it seems to me like it's just Jerry Jones's precedent. Oh, he always does this. He's just fooling around. He just likes the attention. He'll sign him. You don't trade that. Everyone knows. Everyone knows. You never trade that. No one's trading that. That never gets traded ever. And then Jerry Jones trades him. So in the analysis afterward, I hear a lot of people talking, but I don't hear a lot of people knowing much of anything. And then I read today, he needs a shot in his back. And so I'm asking you, why am I reading that? And what's interesting in the last few days that you've read or heard that you would say, I hadn't thought of it that way?
The back thing, from what I can gather, isn't going to be something serious that the Dallas Cowboys were actually really concerned about, nor are the Green Bay Packers. So he's expected to be out there. So this wasn't one of these injuries where Jerry's laughing internally in the building, well, wait till Green Bay sees what injury they're going to have to deal with. That's not the case from what I understand. I think just the timing of all this, the fact that Kenny Clark, obviously the player that was involved in this trade from the Green Bay Packers, who's now a Dallas Cowboy, practiced on Thursday, tells you where the Cowboys were at in this trade. So while I'm sharing with you that Thursday afternoon, no one thought this was happening, because there was a reality where maybe this wouldn't happen. About a week and a half ago, someone texted me who I trust. Not that I have to preface that I trust this, but sometimes there's just better sources than others that you have in the league. And this person said to me, there are people in the Dallas Cowboys building trying to get Jerry to sit down and have a conversation that a trade needs to be on the table. that you cannot continue to say, I'm not doing this. I have all the leverage. I can tag him. We have to talk about this and what that trade would look like. And so between a week and a half ago and Monday, things changed. They were able to convince Jerry to have a conversation, to say, we may need to do this. And once some people in that building were able to convince Jerry that this could be the right move, Jerry went. Because there were some people there that didn't want to trade Micah, and there were some people who did. And that's part of it. This isn't all Jerry. And it's just because we don't know of those people, and those people aren't going to come out and say it. So I just think the fact that this went from being a story that was just going to be business as usual in Dallas to really being a story that got very personal. And soon as on August 1st, when we reported that Micah felt that the relationship was so tarnished that he no longer wanted to be a Dallas Cowboy, and then hours later he tweeted out that he didn't want to be there, this was deeper than just, I don't want to play there, right? When we talked about Trey Hendrickson on the show here a few weeks ago, I said to you, Trey has said consistently he wants to be a Bengal. He never said he wanted to leave Cincinnati. Terry McLaurin always wanted to be a Commander. It was the most obvious thing in the world. He may not have been as vocal as Trey, but everybody knew that. Micah did not want to play in Dallas anymore once it got personal, once the shots were being made, once Jerry disrespected his agent. So this just felt that Dallas, I always thought that Dallas could handle this, even though it felt like it got ugly. But in the end, sometimes these relationships can't be repaired, and this one did not.
Dianna, Micah mentioned that he didn't have a say in where he was going to go. So how did it go down, do you believe, as far as him signing the huge deal then with the Packers? I mean, the Packers must have said, hey, we have a deal in place for you. Do you want to play for us, right?
Well, it's money, right? It's who's going to be the team that's going to give him the contract that he wants. And he went from making, for what he thought he would make with Dallas, at around what I think Jerry and him had that conversation around 41.5 a year to 47. You know, I don't really think there's a lot of decision that has to be made there. And that was part of this too, by the way. So Thursday afternoon, when the trade was agreed to, at least was heating up, the contract had to get worked out. And from what I gather, Green Bay had no issue giving him that money. And I do believe that there are other teams around the league who would have had no problem paying him the number of that contract that he received.
Don Batard.
Daddy says you're doing a live show on the draft. Is it Channel 7?
Stugats.
Those girls on Eyewitness News, they look good. They're mothers. They look good, though.
This is the Don Batard Show with the Stugats.
How much more should they have gotten, Dallas? Because the two first-round draft picks they're getting aren't even likely to be high picks. They're probably going to be in the 20s.
That's the problem with all of this, is they picked a team, which, first of all, they have a history with, a history that they don't like. Jerry's been very open about that. We've seen how many games have we seen where the Packers are the reason why the Dallas Cowboys can't advance or get knocked out, whatever it is. But furthermore, it's the NFC. I had a head coach text with me that day. It was, why not the AFC? Why would you do that if you're Dallas? If the Packers are the reason why you haven't been able to get over the hump in several different seasons.
Let me ask that question a different way, actually. How many teams in the league wouldn't make that trade for Micah Parsons? Like, would have given up more for Micah Parsons because Micah Parsons is never available?
Yeah, I don't know how many teams at the end really were serious. I know there were a handful, right? Jerry said 15. I think it's a little less than that, just because as a reporter, you have to go call every team and say, were you in? You know, and I try to get almost every team, and the number I got was not 15. But I can tell you that a lot of teams were looking at this as, yes, an opportunity to improve our team immediately. And, you know, the most common sense way to go about this was to call the teams that have rookie quarterbacks, right? Because they've got the money, they've got the draft capital, they're in better positions. So those teams all make a lot of sense. I did find teams though that have quarterbacks on rookie deals who were not interested. And some of it is because they either like what they have, they don't want to give away that draft capital. This morning, Mike Vrabel was asked in New England, a team that could certainly use a guy like Micah Parsons. And his response was essentially, without saying and throwing the former regime under the bus, they just, they did not draft very well. We need our draft picks. We have to build. One player can't do it all. So I don't know how many teams were not in. There were just definitely some that were lurking once they heard that Jerry was actually truly open. But again, back to the business side of this, and this is where the feedback I've been receiving around the league is, I think there's a lot of questions about how much better of a deal they could have received if they just pulled the plug on this earlier. If they just made the decision to actually trade him earlier in the summer when teams, we're a few days out when this was happening.
You need to find out, like Pablo Torre finds out, Dianna Russini needs to find out.
Give me the full name. You said Dianna Marie Russini.
Yes, Dianna Russini finds out what was going to be the max trade offer for Micah Parsons. Please find out what could have been possible so we can stop speaking speculatively and actually know it.
Man, if I'm a Packers fan, I just feel like I won the lottery. And if you want to win the lottery, listen up. We're teaming up with Jackpocket, America's #1 lottery app. Play Powerball, Mega Millions, and scratch-offs, all with just a couple taps. New customers get $5 in lottery credits when you download the app. Opt in. Use code SUPERFAN at sign up.
So, Dianna, I want to, because I have aired here, right, and I want to spend some time here with you on Belichick, but there's a lot happening, right? When Micah Parsons is something that just explodes in your face, and now here comes football, college football, crazy weekend, lot of fun. The whole sports thing is escalating, and last week, your exit here was controversial. And Chris and I were trying to get you on to get back on the show because during our conversation or your appearance, you got the Adam Thielen news, you left for 10 minutes, you came back, and then people thought I was yelling at you. What's the final fallout on that?
I think you understood that when I'm in the middle of a story and it's my job to gather as many details and to get as many people on the phone to not only report it, for myself, but to support my teammates, the athletic reporters that are on the ground every day with these teams. I think you know me well enough to know when I'm overwhelmed. When I come on the show, most of the time outside Robert Saleh getting fired, it's always a fun conversation. It's easy. We love talking football. I'm an open book with you guys about my ridiculous life that I've chosen. But at times, I have to be serious and I have to do my job. And the competition is at a level that it's never been at. I've never had so many people I am trying to beat on a daily basis. So while the Adam Thielen story was happening, there's layers that I'm going to get asked from my own bosses of how this trade came together. And really, my anxiety that day was trying to support my fellow reporters at The Athletic in that moment, knowing they were working and had tons of intel and we just needed to piece it together. So in terms of your behavior towards me, you did make me feel bad because you guys are part of, you're some of my favorite people. You've opened your arms to me for years, but you made me feel bad for wanting to be good at what I do. And that was the issue.
Oh my God.
Because I sat in it all afternoon and you and I texted a little bit afterwards. And I remember thinking, I think I let the guys down. I let Dan down by leaving. But then it was a little bit of a difficult mind war I had in my brain, a tug of war of I have to do this job. So,
but for me, all I was doing, it wasn't even because you were a little overwhelmed. You seemed distracted. And when you're always here, you're super focused on what we're doing or we're fooling around with where you would get distracted. But it seemed like you seemed panicked. And so I was trying to make sure that you were okay because you were.
No, that's what it is. I know you understand what's going on, but sometimes when you talk about what I'm doing, you make me feel bad that I chose this life. And I don't want to feel bad about myself.
Oh, okay.
It feels
because I feel bad.
It's like you're mocking me. That's what it is. It feels condescending.
Wow.
Look at you. Like you couldn't be better. You couldn't shoot higher. You couldn't get a job on SportsCenter. You had to become an insider and have this stuff consume your life that you're running off a great television
I'm
show.
your mother. I'm your mother.
You are, exactly. This is, if I was on Good Morning America,
I'm your mother.
You would be happy.
Yeah.
This is what's happened through these years. Somehow Dan has turned into Camille Russini.
Dana, can I just tell you, you're enough, and I'm proud of you and everything that you have become.
Yeah, we love you. Not Dan, but the rest of us.
Thank you for saying that. Sometimes you just need to hear from the people you care about and that love you unconditionally, because this is supposed to be an unconditional love relationship here. I am good with the tough love, but Dan, I just think you need to.
We're on television. How is this unconditional?
You just need to give me a little bit of grace at times.
Yes, respect.
This is you're correct, but I did not mean to be neither mocking nor condescending. I worry.
You said Adam Thielen was 35. You're like, who cares? Like your whole attitude it was like you were annoyed that I cared about a trade that wasn't very significant in the grand scheme of things, but in the moment, it was.
If you lack total perspective because your job as an insider is so consuming and everyone is competing in a way that makes mental health challenges a daily conundrum because information has to be gotten to first and fast, and I don't think it's sane or healthy for you.
So send me Xanax. Like, don't make fun of me. Get me on meds. Get me a therapist. Get me someone I could talk to get this off my chest so I can be Superwoman and I can be a wonderful wife and a wonderful mom and the best at this, because I'm trying to do that this year.
If you send her the Xanax over state lines, it could be troublesome for you.
Okay. Thank you, Zaslow. I appreciate the law enforcement over here. But we haven't talked enough about Belichick, and there seems to be a glee in the air. I have been a bit surprised. I wonder if Belichick cost him more with this relationship than it did with Tom Brady winning a Super Bowl elsewhere. The sheer delight people are taking in watching him unrobed this way on television. Like, what's more responsible there for people really enjoying a demise? Is it the fact that we all saw that Tom Brady could win without him, or is it his relationship?
Well, I enjoyed your take yesterday. I repeated that and retweeted it. I was very psyched to see how supportive you were and the belief of Bill Belichick. But no, I'm with you. It seems very petty right now. I can't believe how harsh people are being on him for one game. But I think sometimes this is what happens when you put so much out there. You immediately put the target on your back. And I do think the way Bill treated the media for so long, there's a bit of a revenge feeling here. And I felt it even before this North Carolina situation. I felt it even when he was interviewing for jobs, or at least looking for jobs in the NFL. It felt like people wanted to box him out, to punish him for the way he treated people. In terms of this, though, and you know, before I got on the show, I was talking to some people around the league to just get their feelings about Bill. And even last night, some people were texting about it. Look, it's one game. I don't think anyone's sitting here thinking Bill is going to be an absolute failure at the college level. I just think he's going to be a bit of a learning curve here. It's not the NFL. This roster's not very good at Chapel Hill. Like, I think we got to give a little. But I'm with you. The world seems pretty excited to watch him fail.
The audience has spoken, and for being an asshole to Dianna and making her feel bad last week and make her feel condescended, I have been given by the audience.
Minor penalty, 2 minutes, peste, tremenda, come mierda.
Crazy about that.
And this is how you show your support for women?
I apologize for you feeling that way. Good.
See, I don't like that line. I'm sorry you feel that way. I had someone do that to me recently. Like, that's basically putting it back on me.
Yeah, it's not an apology.
It's not an apology. The apology should just be, we are so happy that you're part of our family, and we know that you're trying your best to get us the most information, and at times things are going to happen when we're on the show. And if you have to do your job, you need to go do it. And you are always welcome here, whether it's that day or another day, because You've consistently been loyal to this show, and we love you unconditionally.
Dad,
top to bottom. And you're also beautiful.
Dan Le Batard.
Are you on the fan right now? Did Mike Greenberg call you yet? Are you ever going to go back to ESPN? People think it's so weird you're a writer now. All those years on TV, all those years, and now you write? Who reads that?
Stugats.
Why did you take a job at The Atlantic? Mom, I work at The Athletic. What? You're on YouTube?
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugats.
Dad, what's the passive-aggressive thing you say to Mom all the time when you're in an argument with her? Like it's like a diffuser?
If you say so.
Oh, yeah.
She hates that.
If you say so.
My
God.
I thought it's like, you may be right. I thought it was...
I know, she hates that.
It's almost like the text. My husband and I do this when we're fighting. Just K.
Oh, the K.
K.
Yeah, don't K me.
That's essentially.
It speaks volumes.
Yeah, it's the middle finger.
What's wrong? What's wrong with if you say so? As a diffuser, as an argument.
I thought you also
diffuser.
do. You may be right.
I do because
I may be crazy.
The great Edwin Pope taught me that you may be right is the way to diffuse an argument without admitting the other person is right.
Those are detonators, not diffusers.
You think?
You're getting the person more ramped up.
Okay.
I see where you're coming from on that. I understand that. I probably needed to put myself in your shoes a little bit more in that scenario. And maybe that's what Dan needed to do. Maybe Dan needs to sit here in my little office with my phone buzzing, because God knows every time I'm on this show, something's happening.
Right.
By the way, I was thinking about that on the day the Micah Parsons trade was happening. I'm like, thank God I was not with Dan.
Oh, God.
So I was having internet issues, and we wanted to do a quick live reaction show for Scoop City. And of course, everything always happens at the worst times, right? It's like no internet, no technology, all this. So I have to go to Starbucks. It's the only place I can think of to just sit somewhere to get internet.
Right.
And I had to go up to the barista and basically ask him politely, can you not blend Frappuccinos?
Oh, my.
Can you kill the music? The biggest trade in the NFL in a long time just happened, and I have to go live, and I just can, whatever you could do. And I realized there's only one way people will do things that you ask, which is money. And I just put $50 on the counter.
Oh my God.
Music goes off, the blending stops. Like, it was awesome. Like, shout out to those guys.
Were there people in there? Like, did you have an audience when you were doing this?
It wasn't a large amount like normally you see at Starbucks. It was like a decent amount, and they were working too. And I did see one guy, he was live watching. Like, he was just like, he was probably a football fan, actually, now that I think about it. It was like, oh, this is great intel. This is all happening in the moment. But that was just like another example of where you're like, are you kidding me? Is this happening right now? But it happens. Money talks, right, guys?
Were there other customers that now are not getting their drinks because you bribed the barista?
I don't know. They were in my peripheral. And if you remember, it was later in the day. They were sweeping and collecting garbage. And I'm thinking, is Starbucks closing right now? Is this going to happen in the middle of the show? They're going to try to close, which by the way, this is happening where like you're looking straight on camera and everything around you is just like craziness, on top of the fact that I've got text messages flying in, because I'm trying to throw out as much intel as I can to make the show better. But it was a lot at one time. So, by the way, what's the answer? If your internet goes down and you have to go somewhere that's decent, because I was thinking, do I get a hotel room? Like, do I just go to a hotel and be like, give me a room?
That's sketchy. Explain to your husband you got a hotel room in the middle of the day.
He sees on the credit card thing, Holiday Inn on Route 4 in Paramus.
Greg was dying to tell you the story of the time he had to do that, though. Like, you were.
I have had to do that. But the hotel rental, not only that, but for 1 hour. I only need the hotel room for 1 hour.
That's even sketchier.
That's a little sketchy.
Long for you, but sketchier.
No, but Dianna, the coincidence is I have done that same thing in a Dunkin' Donuts near my house. When my power is out and I have to finish a column or something, I've gone there and set up to finish a column in a Dunkin' Donuts.
You don't listen. He just said that was long for you.
An hour?
When did Dunkin' Donuts and Starbucks close? Because like you were saying, your word is going to close. It's a good question because I think they close. At least Dunkin' closes at like 5 in the afternoon or something. And
Starbucks like 6 or 7 p.m.
I don't know if you guys have caught on to this. Starbucks, the A team is the one that's working at like the crack of dawn. If you go to a Starbucks and it's like 6 a.m., man, you're in and out. But if you go at like 1:30 in the afternoon, you're waiting.
Yeah, like you really think they have like a draft?
I
think they have like
they
a roster, like the depth chart.
I think you have to work your way up. So if I were to work at a Starbucks, I would kind of want to slip a little bit because like I don't want to be up at 4:30 making people frappuccinos. You know,
you want the slow shift.
Yeah, exactly right. You want to be the one in the afternoon. The morning people seem to really have it together because if you go through like a drive-through, it's like boom, 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 boom. You're in and out. Afternoon, you're waiting.
But maybe you want to be in the morning crew because they get better tips.
And more
I've noticed with them the greetings are different, at least in my area. The morning people don't give me the big hello, good morning, welcome to Starbucks. How may I help you? What can I get for you today on this beautiful Monday afternoon? Like
people
Monday
don't
morning.
want that.
Yeah, come on.
You don't want that early.
Afternooners are stalling because they know they'd take forever to do stuff, so they just talk to you to keep you distracted.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Look, I can't complain. They hooked me up.
I'm
that could have
shocked
been a nightmare.
that my dad was able to hook up his internet at a place like that. Like the idea that you know how to hook up your Wi-Fi at a Starbucks.
I mean, somebody had to give me the Wi-Fi password.
Okay.
Or, I didn't know
So
that.
wait, I really need an answer because this is going to happen again to me. Where I have some internet.
Dianna, why can't you go to your neighbor?
You don't
I guess
go
I
to your
didn't
neighbor.
because they're working from home too. It's just like I feel
if
bad.
my neighbor shows up at my house looking for internet, I'm like, this is the worst neighbor ever.
Yeah, that's an intrusion. Yeah, you don't.
I better be really close with you. If you're showing up at my house needing internet,
I've done a radio show. My internet went out. I did a radio show at my neighbor's house.
you better be close with your
Look,
neighbor.
COVID is the reason why this all became acceptable, anyways. Right? Like we would never be doing it. Like
That neighbor hates you.
No,
That
he's
didn't
my
happen.
friend.
No,
They
he hates
definitely
you.
hate you. How
Yeah,
long
he
was your
hates
radio show for?
3 hours.
So you were 3 hours at your neighbor's house just screaming?
Yeah, I'm loud.
You were
I'm loud.
And was this like the afternoon one? Like what time was this
Yeah, it
show
was
at?
midday, 10 a to 2 p. Midday.
Were they there?
No.
Wait, hold on.
see, that's
What?
different.
You went to your neighbor's house and you were alone in your neighbor's house just screaming?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
In their bedroom too.
What? Why?
Because that was where the better connection was for the internet.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Did you take a picture?
What does that
Put
mean?
it on the poll at Lebitard Show. Have you ever been in your neighbor's master bedroom? At Lebitard Show. Have you ever done a radio show from your neighbor's master bedroom? At Lebitard Show. Would you want your neighbor looking around in your master bedroom when you're not home? At Lebitard Show.
Did they know that you were in their bedroom? How did this work? You called me and said, "Hey, Fred, my internet's down. Can I go to your house?"
Yeah, I said I'm about to go on the air here and I just lost internet. Like, can you help me out? He goes, yeah, here's my garage code. You can enter through the side of the house.
And then did he say go into the master bedroom?
Yeah.
Or you decided that?
No, I said, where's a good place?
That's
He goes,
very personal.
Oh, you
It
snooped.
really
You
is.
snooped.
You snooped a little bit in the
Yeah,
commercials.
you did.
He said, you'll be able to connect best if you go set up in my bedroom. So I set up in the bedroom, I did the show, and when I got done with the show and I was getting ready to leave, I walked out, and his in-laws were in the house now in the living room. I was like, oh, hey, I didn't know you were here.
More like Snoop City. Am I right?
Oh, boy.
You lost confidence on that one. Cue the music so that I can.
That was a good joke. Her podcast called Scoop City.
We got it.
Yeah,
We all
good.
got it. You just didn't have the confidence in it.
I was going to say, am I right, Diana? But I figured
I know,
she
you
got
tripped over the
No,
finish line.
I liked it. 1 hour in a hotel room, though.
We're gonna speed Diana up here for a second here and get all the fast football information we can get. But do you have any opinions on Zaslow's go-to order at Dunkin'? Since we were talking about Dunkin' and Starbucks,
I get that plain stick.
just the plain stick. The plain stick.
I don't know what that is.
Nobody
That
gets
sounds
that.
weird. What's a plain stick?
What do you mean you don't know what it is? How am I supposed to describe a plain stick other than say it's a plain stick?
Well, donut's round.
Yeah, but it's
It's a stick?
It's an elongated donut.
It's like rectangular, like that.
made for dipping in that coffee.
I don't know. I'm at Dunkin' Donuts 3 times a week with my boys from Munchkins. I've never seen the plain stick.
That's because they're always sold out. It's so good.
I don't believe that that's true. I believe you're strange in eating this thing.
Sounds
Put it on the
awful.
poll. Do you know what a plain stick is at Dunkin'? And do you like the plain stick? Let's speed up the music here and go through this as fast as you can, Diana, because now we want the fast information. As fast as you'll give it to us,
forgot
because
about this.
football is here. Why will the Eagles repeat?
The Eagles repeat because Jalen Hurts is going to be the best version of himself at quarterback now that he's won a Super Bowl and also lost one. I think his confidence is at an all-time high in terms of operating this offense and just feeling good at the position. He knows how to do it. He's done it already. And I think Jalen Hurts is probably going to be the reason why we'll see the Eagles back in the Super Bowl.
Why will the Eagles not get back to the Super Bowl?
Health. I hate saying health because it's a horrible thing to put out there. But Saquon Barkley carried a lot of this offense last year. Runs, long runs as well. And they gave him the ball a lot, not just in the regular season, but of course in the postseason. I just think it's hard to imagine that Saquon's going to be able to have another season like that again.
Last year was shocking when it came to the Kansas City Chiefs offense. And then in the playoffs, they kind of fooled us a little bit, but then we saw how outgunned they were in the Super Bowl. Will the Kansas City Chiefs offense get back to what it once was, or is this a new reality?
Oh, no, they are going to be getting back to what they were just based on what the conversations I've been having with people there and the way Patrick's has looked and the way they're using these weapons. I'm expecting a lot of speed once again with this Chiefs offense, but also protection. That was what they have focused on all offseason, knowing that did not look very good in the Super Bowl. So I'm expecting big things for the Kansas City Chiefs, not doubting them.
More speed on this, more speed. Why is everyone in on the Broncos?
Because Sean Payton is a good salesman, and also because Bo Nix has already taken that next step in terms of understanding the playbook and what's expected of him. He put it best on Scoop City with us when we talked to him. He said last year was just about memorizing. This year is about understanding the why as to why I am doing the things I'm doing on the field. He actually understands the position at a better level. And I think for that reason and the fact that they probably have one of the best defenses in football.
Dianna, the Chicago Bears are going to be what?
Very good this year.
A team considered out of the playoff race that's going to surprise and make the playoffs.
A team that was out of the playoff race last year that could be in the playoffs this year?
Yes, an underregarded team that you expect to make the playoffs.
The New England Patriots. I think they're going to make a bounce back this year. I think they're not going to be exceptionally good, but I think they're going to be able to squeeze in.
To that point, Bill Barnwell says on Dominique Foxworth's show, quote, I believe Sean Payton would drive Bo Nix to the airport and dump him in front of departures if he could get Drake May at quarterback.
Not true at all. Sean Payton would buy Bo Nix a private jet, take him to his house in Cabo, and spend the entire summer with him if he could. He's obsessed with Bo Nix.
Well, wait a minute, though. Why would you and Bill Barnwell have such a different opinion on this?
Well, has Bill Barnwell been to the Denver Broncos practice?
Whoa.
Yikes.
Shots fired.
That's a shot.
Like
no matter what I said, it was going to be a shot at Bill. I love Bill, but where is Bill getting that Sean
Shot retracted.
He's just using that as that's a theory, right? He's not saying that's what Sean Payton told him, right?
Dianna Russini, Bill Barnwell is a liar.
Dan, I think I said it on the show this summer. I had a missed call from Sean Payton, and when I checked the voicemail, all the voicemail said was, I love my quarterback.
Let's call him right now and ask him.
Yeah, but he could love him
true.
and trade him for Drake May. What Bill Barnwell is saying is that Drake May's better.
I don't think Sean Payton believes that. I don't think Sean Payton believed Drake May was better. I think during that whole draft process, it was Bo Nix the whole time. I think Jaden Daniels was a different story. I think if we said Jaden, yes. I don't think that he thinks that Bo Nix, that the thing that Sean Payton loves about Bo Nix is the experience he had at the college level, right? Bo's obviously, 25? He is comfortable at the position already. There is not that much of a learning curve that we're seeing with so much of these younger guys. Drake May still needs time.
Greg Cody, I stop you just because we need to speed it up. Greg Cody says the Dolphins are going to win 8 games this season.
At least.
You're drunk. No. I have. They are the team I am most concerned about this year.
Wow.
Injuries are always a problem with this team. They went from old to young, which I'm fine with. Like, I'm okay that they decided to go, all right, we got to get rid of some of the veterans here and bring in some youth, which is what they did. But anytime you see a team that's this young, they need time. And I'm not sure if this regime has a lot of time left here to turn this around. Obviously, there's been drama off the field with Tyreek, the back and forth. Tyreek is going to be there, obviously, out on week 1. He was not a captain. That tells you some of the story as well. The vibes are not good.
I have to give you credit because I am drunk right now.
Thank you.
Wow, Cash.
Thank you, Dianna, for your time. On your way out, just very quickly, are lemonade stands bullshit?
Yes. Yes, it is a way for parents to make money off their children and use that cash to get dinner.
Put it on the poll at Batard Show. Are lemonade stands a grift by the parent?
That $28 scheme.
Thank you. Thank you, Dianna. Thank you. Good talking to you.
Tough times, guys. Thanks. Love you.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. 18 or older, 19 or older in Nebraska, 21 or older in Arizona. Jackpocket is a lottery courier and not affiliated with any state lottery. Void where prohibited. Scratchers subject to availability. Opt in for $5 in non-withdrawable lottery credits that expire in 168 hours. Terms at jkpt.co/draw5 and September 30th, 2025.